What happens when two long-time co-hosts who've always had each other's backs suddenly find themselves on opposite sides of an argument, so heated that one of them literally walks off the set in the middle of a live broadcast? That's exactly what went down on The View. And trust me, this is one clash you won't believe until you hear every single word that was said. Before we get into this absolute train wreck of a segment, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below, telling me whose side you're on after you hear this whole thing, because this one is going to divide people like nothing else. The show starts like any other day. The panel is relaxed, the audience is settled, and the topic on the table is a high-profile celebrity lawsuit dominating social media. Emotions are already high across the internet, but inside the studio, everything appears calm. Whoopi introduces the segment and welcomes the guest, Marcus Chun, an entertainment lawyer, known for his controversial takes on celebrity accountability. He appears via satellite on the screen behind the panel, nodding politely as the discussion begins. Since the topic is legal, Whoopi passes the conversation to Sunny, trusting her background as a former prosecutor to guide the questioning. Sunny leans forward, confident and composed, and asks Marcus how he can dismiss a case that seems to have so much evidence circulating publicly, texts, emails, and multiple witnesses. Marcus responds without hesitation, arguing that the court of public opinion is not a courtroom and that leaked evidence without context should not be treated as a conviction. His tone is measured, but the implication is clear. Public outrage does not equal legal guilt. Before Sunny can respond, Joy jumps in. Her tone is sharper, more emotional. She pushes back, questioning whether society should ignore multiple accusers with similar stories. This is the first moment the atmosphere shifts. Sunny quickly clarifies that Marcus is talking about due process, not dismissing victims, but Joy bristles at the suggestion. She argues that due process is often used as a shield to undermine people who come forward. The exchange stops being about the guest and becomes personal. Joy points out that Sunny has taken different stances in past cases, implying inconsistency. Sunny's demeanor changes instantly. What started as a professional discussion becomes something colder, more personal. The audience senses it. The cameras linger. Even Marcus looks uncomfortable, frozen on the screen as if watching an accident unfold in slow motion. Whoopi attempts to redirect the conversation, but the damage is already done. The fault line between Sunny and Joy has opened, and neither is willing to step back. This is no longer a debate. It's a reckoning unfolding live on air. The tension in the studio thickens almost instantly. Sunny's voice sharpens as she challenges Joy directly, asking if her integrity is really being questioned on live television. Joy doesn't hesitate. She turns fully towards Sunny, her words cutting deeper now, accusing her of bending over backward to defend someone with multiple accusers. The cameras scramble to keep up as the body language shifts from panel discussion to confrontation. Marcus remains silent on the screen, his expression a mix of shock and regret, like he wishes his Wi-Fi would suddenly cut out. Sunny fires back, reminding Joy that she's a former prosecutor, not a comedian playing to the crowd. That line lands hard. You can feel the air leave the room. Joy snaps that legal jargon shouldn't be used to avoid taking a moral stance, arguing that justice and the law aren't always the same thing. Sunny responds coldly, telling her not to lecture her about justice, listing years spent fighting for it. The other co-hosts exchange uneasy glances. Sarah shifts in her seat. Alyssa goes completely still. Whoopi tries again to calm things down, urging everyone to remember their colleagues having a conversation, not a shouting match. But the conversation is long gone. Joy accuses Sunny of using her law degree as a shield. Sunny calls what's happening a witch hunt. That word detonates. Joy repeats it back in disbelief, her voice rising as she questions how multiple women coming forward can be reduced to mob behavior. Sunny insists that when there are no charges and no convictions, destroying someone's career in the media is dangerous. Her hands grip the edge of the table now, knuckles whitening. Joy shakes her head, anger and hurt bleeding into her voice. She says this isn't about the law anymore. It's about Sunny protecting someone because it suits her argument. Sunny's voice drops to a quiet, lethal tone, accusing Joy of turning on her for refusing to join a mob. The studio falls silent. Even the audience seems afraid to breathe. Joy's eyes glisten as she fires back. insisting she cares about victims, not ratings. She accuses Sunny of demanding perfect evidence that doesn't exist outside courtrooms and giving powerful people cover while victims are silenced. That's when Sunny stands up so fast her chair rolls back, the sound echoing through the studio. Her microphone catches every word as she repeats, "People like me," listing her career, her convictions, her work putting abusers behind bars. Now both women are on their feet, facing each other across the table. Joy tells Sunny to act like she cares more about victims than being technically correct. Sunny responds that she doesn't need to prove anything to Joy, only that facts matter more than emotional arguments. Joy counters that pain is a fact, trauma is a fact, and Sunny's refusal to acknowledge that is what's wrong with the system. The argument has fully eclipsed the show itself. There is no segment anymore, no guest, no script, only two. Sunny's patience finally snaps when Joy suggests that maybe some people deserve revenge if the system fails them. The studio audibly reacts, a collective gasp rippling through the audience. Sunny goes completely still, her face hardening as she asks Joy if she really meant to say that on national television. Joy doesn't retreat. She doubles down, arguing that when abusers walk free and lawyers twist the system to protect them, public judgment may be the only justice victims ever see. Sunny's breathing becomes visible, her chest rising and falling as she calls that thinking mob rule and vigilantism. She says she can't believe someone she's worked beside for years would throw away principles of fairness just to stand with the crowd. Joy fires back, reframing the crowd as survivors, people who have been silenced and dismissed for decades. Whoopi finally raises her voice, urging everyone to lower the temperature and remember, there's still a show to finish. But Sunny doesn't look at Whoopi. Her eyes stay locked on Joy, filled with anger, pain, and something close to betrayal. She talks about having her integrity questioned, about being made to look like a defender of abusers simply because she believes in due process. Joy, visibly emotional now, reminds Sunny of every conversation they've had about believing women and power dynamics. She says Sunny used to agree, and now, in this case, everything has changed. Sunny pushes back, insisting nothing has changed, only that accusations aren't convictions. She argues both things can be true, supporting people who come forward, while still demanding evidence before destroying lives. Joy recoils at the phrase, rational adult, taking it as a personal insult. Sunny's voice cracks as she admits how hard it is to hold the line on unpopular principles. When everyone wants instant justice, the room feels like it's collapsing inward. Sarah tries again to mediate, suggesting they're on the same side. But Joy says it doesn't feel that way. She draws a clear line. Sunny's side is about protecting the accused, while hers is about caring for victims. Sunny looks devastated, asking how Joy can believe she doesn't care after everything she's done in her career. Then it happens. Sunny reaches down, unclips her microphone, and carefully places it on the table. Her hands are shaking. She says she's done being told. She doesn't care about victims and done defending her character on live television. Joy's eyes widen as she pleads for Sunny to stay and talk it out. Whoopi stands, asking producers to go to commercial, but Sunny refuses. She says this already happened, and she won't pretend it didn't. The studio is frozen. Joy tries to explain she wanted an honest conversation, not humiliation. Sunny turns back, calmly listing every accusation Joy made, pointing out that it all happened in front of millions. She calls it an attack, not a debate. No one speaks. Even the crew seems afraid to move. Joy's voice softens as she admits she may have pushed too hard, but insists disagreement is what the show is built on. Sunny doesn't accept that explanation. She says this wasn't a clash of perspectives. It was a personal judgment on her integrity. She explains that she actually agrees with most of what Joy believes, that survivors deserve support, that the system often fails them, that power protects itself. But the small part where she insists on waiting for evidence is the part Joy refuses to tolerate. And for that, she's willing to burn everything else down. Joy shakes her head, saying that isn't fair. She claims she challenged the issue, not Sunny as a person. Sunny's response is immediate and firm. She lists the words Joy used: convenient, giving cover, protecting abusers, and says those weren't critiques of an argument. They were attacks on her character. The studio is so quiet you can hear the hum of the lights overhead. Joy swallows hard and apologizes if Sunny took it that way, but stands by her belief that victims should be believed first and questioned later. That's the moment everything ends. Sunny repeats the phrase slowly, as if weighing it. Believe first and ask questions later. She asks Joy if she understands what kind of justice that creates. Joy says she's advocating for giving victims the benefit of the doubt, instead of treating them like liars. Sunny responds that verification isn't calling someone a liar, it's building a case that can actually hold up. Joy counters by asking how many people stay silent because they know they'll be dissected and doubted. Sunny closes her eyes briefly, then opens them with finality. She tells Joy she's already decided who Sunny is and what she represents, and nothing will change that. She turns and begins walking off the set, not rushed, not dramatic, just final. Whoopi calls after her, asking to talk after the show. Sunny pauses but doesn't turn around, saying there's nothing left to discuss after having her integrity questioned on national television. Joy, openly emotional now, insists she never meant to make Sunny a villain and thought Sunny would understand her passion. Sunny finally turns back toward the camera. There are no tears, only resignation. She says she's been made into a symbol of everything Joy hates about these debates, simply for believing in due process. She adds that she won't stay and pretend everything is fine for the sake of television. And just like that, she walks off. The set is left in stunned silence. The guest is gone. The panel is shaken. Whoopi holds her head in her hands. Sarah looks like she might cry. Alyssa stares straight ahead. Millions of viewers are left watching an empty chair and wondering how a conversation about justice turned into the moment. A friendship fractured live on air. And now the question isn't who was right or wrong. It's whether this is something they can ever come back from.